The basic rules of business: cost, price, and value. Estimating your financial reward is a balancing act between the money taken and your outgoings over time. Money taken is a reflection of the market need for your product. For example, how many could we expect to sell? What would the customer be prepared to pay? Outgoings reflect your capability costs. For example, how much will it cost to develop, protect, manufacture, promote, and distribute your product? What's your capital investment, your operating and intellectual property costs? How long will you have a competitive edge within your market? It is important to understand the relationship between cost, price, and value. Cost is how much it costs you to produce and manufacture your product. Price is how much you are selling the product for. And value is how much the customer is prepared to pay for it. The value to each customer depends upon their specific situation. Here we have a worked example. You are the seller and you have bought 10,000 barrels of crude oil. You have also identified 3 potential buyers for your oil: a commodity trader, the owner of an oil refinery, and a Middle Eastern sheikh. And I'm going to ask you who you would sell your oil to. So if we first look at the seller, you've bought 10,000 barrels of crude oil at a price of $90 per barrel. What is the cost of the crude oil to you? It is $900,000. What would be an acceptable profit for the sale of the 10,000 barrels? Let's say $50,000, or around 5%. At what price per barrel should you aim to sell the crude oil? $95 per barrel. First, you approach the commodity trader. The trader wants to make a quick profit. He sees the oil as a tradable asset. He does have expertise in oil, so knows that the current value of oil is $100 per barrel, but it's constantly rising, allowing him to make a profit. If he offers you $100 per barrel, how much will it cost him? It will cost him $1 million. If the seller accepts $100 per barrel, what will his profit be? His profit will be $100,000. But the trader says that he can't get the money till tomorrow. Can you think of a way to get round this situation? You could possibly take a deposit, or you could negotiate a percentage of his profits. Next, you approach the owner of the oil refinery. He has the capability to refine the oil into more valuable products with a final market value of $200 per barrel. What is the total market value of the refined barrels of oil? The market value is $2 million. Of the refined products, it costs the refinery 10% of the market value for the refining process, or $200,000, 5% of the market value for marketing and distribution costs, or $100,000, 10% of the market value in sales tax, or $200,000. What are the total costs, including taxes, payable by the refinery? The total costs are $500,000. If the oil was bought for $100 per barrel, how much profit will the refinery make from the 10,000 barrels of crude oil? They would make $500,000 profit. Finally, you approach the sheikh. The sheikh owns one of the largest oil reserves in the world, and 10,000 barrels is insignificant to him. It costs him $5 per barrel to lift his oil from the ground, $5 per barrel to drill for new oil supplies, $10 per barrel in taxes, and $10 per barrel in marketing, distribution, and other costs. What is the sheikh's break-even cost per barrel of oil? His break-even costs are $30 per barrel. Will he buy your crude oil at any price that's acceptable to you? I don't think he would. So, who would you sell your oil to at this point? I think you would sell your oil to the owner of the oil refinery at this point. This gives you a healthy profit of $100,000, which is greater than your target of $50,000. There is also room for further negotiation to enhance this by cutting into their profits. They also have the money to give to you straight away, unlike the commodity trader. So before buying the oil, the owner of the oil refinery insists upon testing the crude oil for quality. This is a perfectly normal procedure. However, these tests show that what you thought was crude oil was in fact refined aviation fuel. You then go back to the owner of the oil refinery. He sells refined aviation fuel at a price of $140 per barrel, and it will still cost him $20 per barrel to sell the fuel. What is the total market value of the refined barrels of fuel? They have a market value of $1.4 million. What are the total costs, including taxes, payable by the refinery? The total costs are $200,000. If the fuel was bought for $100 per barrel, how much profit will the refinery make from the 10,000 barrels of aviation fuel? They would make $200,000 in profit. Next, you approach the commodity trader. The trader does not have expertise in aviation fuel, so he does not know the current value of this product. He will not pay more than $100 per barrel, but he now has the money available to give to you. If the trader offers $100 per barrel, how much will this cost him? It would cost him $1 million. If you, the seller, accepts $100 per barrel, what would your profit be? Your profit would be $100,000. If the value of the aviation fuel is in fact $140 per barrel, what would the trader's profit be if he sold at this price? His profit would be $400,000. Finally, you approach the sheikh. While the sheikh had no interest in your crude oil, he does however own his own private jet. He buys aviation fuel at a price of $140 per barrel. To him, 10,000 barrels has the value of $1.4 million. The sheikh would happily pay $130 per barrel. What is the total cost to him? The total cost is $1.3 million. How much money will this save the sheikh? It would save the sheikh $100,000. What would your profit be as the seller on this sale? Your profit would be $400,000. So at this point, I think you would probably sell to the sheikh. Many factors affect the cost, price and value of an item, and you have to remember that customers are buying the perceived benefits of the products, not the products themselves. You need to consider the buyer's criteria, the seller's criteria and the product's criteria. Understanding the buyers, sellers and products criteria is key to securing the best deal and maximising your financial return. This may require considerable research.